In today's video, we are going to discuss about Microsoft Flow or Power Automate, a complete tutorial. I'm going to cover a lot of things on this. So basically, we will cover these points. What is Microsoft Flow or Power Automate? Why should we use Flow? What are the key features of Microsoft Flow and how to use Microsoft Flow? I'll also show you the Microsoft Flow pricing or the licensing. And then we will understand what are Microsoft Flow templates or the connectors. What are the type of flows that you can create for your business processes. Apart from that, also I'm going to show you how we can create your first flow using Power Automate. And then we will see some examples. I will share some of the links where you can go through and check few examples on Microsoft Flow. And then what are the flow alternatives, and is Microsoft Flow is a replacement to SharePoint Designer, and what are the advantages of Microsoft Flow over SharePoint Designer. Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Bijay and I'm a Microsoft MVP. So let's discuss about Microsoft Flow kind of workflow products. I have written a complete article on Microsoft Flow and all these points I have covered. So let me open that and explain you from there. I didn't feel that I'll put every point in a PPT and explain it from there. So I created this article. Now, if you look at this article, here I have covered everything. So let's go one by one. Now, what is Microsoft Flow? So Microsoft Flow is nothing but a cloud service from Microsoft, and that's come as a part of Office 365 also. That means if you have an Office 365 subscription, you can also use Microsoft Flow. And this will actually help you to simplify your day-to-day repetitive task. Now, why this repetitive task? Because we can actually create a flow for that. Instead of doing this doing this task repeatedly, your flow will do on behalf of you. So your flow will automatically run and do all those tasks without much of manual intervention. Now, if you are familiar with SharePoint Designer, then you might know that you are creating a lot of flows or workflows for kind of approvals, or if you want to send some notifications on that. So this kind of things that we are doing using SharePoint Designer workflows. And now, if you are familiar with that, then to understand this flow, it will be a little easier for you. Now, flow is not just for SharePoint. So if you compare with SharePoint Designer workflows, if you are not from that background, then understand that flow is not about just SharePoint. It allows you to connect and communicate with other services, and that too, those are non-Microsoft product or non-Microsoft services like Google, Gmail, Facebook, Twitter, and many more business applications that you can communicate from Flow. So that means not necessarily you will create a list every time or create a document library, you will start a flow. Not necessarily. You can create flows without having SharePoint. So few examples that you can use where you can use flow. Then you can like send automatic notifications or push notifications, or even you can send emails, or you can ask for approvals. These are some of the things that you can use by creating flows, or you can do by creating flows. Now, what is Power Automate? Power Automate is the same thing as Flow. Just that Microsoft has renamed this Flow to Power Automate. That means if nowadays someone is using Flow or Power Automate, is the same thing that is Microsoft Flow or the Power Automate. So you should also start using Power Automate because that's what Microsoft renamed it. Now let's see why we use Microsoft Flow. We use Microsoft Flow to automate a lot of business processes by adding some flow actions, stages, or steps. Now we can also use Flow to just send email notification or push notification also. Apart from that, also we can use Microsoft Flow to start simple to complex approvals. Let's say you have 2 levels approval, you have 3 levels of approvals for any product, for a laptop request form, or anything. Those kind of things you can do by using Microsoft Flow. Not only this, we can also capture information. For example, let's say you can use Microsoft Flow to capture some data from Twitter for a specific hashtag. So that means if some people will put a specific hashtag, then you can probably get these tweets and save it to a SharePoint library, or you can store it in an Excel file in OneDrive. That's what we can do. Even we can actually store email attachments from emails that you are retrieving or you are receiving in Outlook to your SharePoint document library. So you can also create a flow for that. For example, you will say that I want to receive or I want to save those email attachments which are coming to a specific folder in my email inbox. So you can use a flow and it will actually save a copy of your document or attachment into a SharePoint library. Even you can actually copy files from OneDrive for Business to SharePoint, or even you can sync OneDrive for business files to your Google Drive. So in those cases, you can see here it will sync your files with your OneDrive and Google Drive. Even you can upload photos to OneDrive for Business by using a button flow. So if you click on that button, then you can simply, it will upload those things to your OneDrive for Business. And if you'll see nowadays, a lot of people are using Microsoft Teams, and you can even use Flow to communicate with Microsoft Teams from other applications. Like for example, you can post messages to a Microsoft Teams whenever a new task is created in a planner. So if someone create a task in a planner, then actually it will post a message to your Microsoft Teams so that you will be able to know that there is a task which has been created. Even you can alert the team when a specific document are uploaded to a document library or something. You can even post messages to Microsoft Teams whenever an email arrives to your Outlook. So this kind of things that you can do by using Flow. These are many more scenarios are there where you can use Microsoft Flow. Now let's see what are the key features, why Microsoft Flow is too popular, or why there is a recommendation from everyone that you should use Flow now rather than going for any third-party product or using any designer workflows or using any Visual Studio workflows or out-of-box workflows. Rather, they are saying you should use Microsoft Flow and take advantages of the features. Now, first and foremost thing is that, as I said before, your Flow will communicate with various apps and services, not just for SharePoint. So there is no limit or specific to SharePoint. So Flow can communicate with other Office 365 product, non-Microsoft product like Facebook, Twitter, Google, Slack, Instagram. So those kind of things you can use, or you can communicate with various apps and services. The next thing is Microsoft provides various templates that you can use as it is. For example, you can just select a template, just create it, and your Flow is ready for use. You can use that for your production. So that is another one where you can use Flow, or it is easier for Flow to be used by business users or having no developer knowledge. Now imagine you can, these are few templates. For example, you want to send a reminder to yourself in 10 minutes. You want to start an approval whenever a new item is added to a SharePoint list. You want to send a customized email when a new SharePoint list item is added. Similarly, you can save Gmail attachments to your Google Drive, and many more examples are there you can see. And most importantly, you can create a Flow without any developer knowledge. If you are actually little familiar with SharePoint Designer, where we ideally create workflows, but that time you require little bit of at least developer knowledge. You should know how to open your site. You should know how to write some kind of code on that, or you not code exactly, but you should know how to configure things over there. But here, this is just the steps you can just add. You can just select and you can just add. So there are a lot of actions templates are available on that, which you can easily use without any developer knowledge. Even a business user, power user, or a citizen developer, they can use this tool to create various flows for themselves and for their teams. Now, how we can use the Flow? You can use the Flow by simply having a updated browser. You don't need any other things, just a browser and an email address. Now, of course, there is some limitation on that, but for sure you don't need to install anything in your system, whether it is in your local system or anywhere. You don't need to install anything, just need a browser like you are accessing any application from Office 365. Now, the one thing that you have to remember that Microsoft doesn't support .gov and .mil email address as of now. So these two email addresses you cannot use to sign up for Flow. Apart from that, you can use. And regarding the browser, you can use Edge, Google Chrome, Firefox, Safari, IE11. So these are the updated browsers that you can use. And even if you want to connect to your on-premises, then you can use the on-premises data gateway to connect to your on-premises data from your Flow. Apart from that, also you have the option where you can download Flow mobile apps, and you can create it from there. You can start button workflows from your mobile app, and the mobile app is available on iOS, Android, and Windows as well. So I have put the links also. You can go and you can download this, and you can install in your mobile phone also. Next question comes is Microsoft Flow free? Yes, the answer is Microsoft Flow is free. There is a free plan available for Microsoft Flow or Power Automate, but you actually will miss out a lot of features from that. So you will have very limited number of flows that you can run on that. So actually, to be specific, you can actually trigger 750 times per month your flow in a free plan, and the gap will be 15 minutes. And but there is another approach that actually you can access Microsoft Flow for free, and there you don't need anything. You just require a email address, and you can actually access this free, and that is through Power Apps Community Plan. There is a community plan available. Don't go by the name saying Power Apps Community Plan. Actually, there also you can get to use Microsoft Flow. You can use all these connectors, the templates, everything that you can use, and you can create unlimited flows on that. That is basically the community plan for the developers. So you cannot use for production use or for your company. You can use even if you have an office address or a company email ID, you can use that, but you cannot develop anything for your company. You can use for your individual use, not for any production use. So that thing that you have to remember, one thing. So once you join in this plan, then you can access Power Apps, Power Automate, and the common data services as well. So there's a URL that I have provided, so you can actually go here and you can sign up for it. So you will get access to Power Automate, and you can create unlimited flows on that. And if you are an organization, you want to try something for your organization, then you can always sign up with a free trial, and which is for 90 days. So you can go to flow.microsoft.com, and then there you can actually sign up for free. And next, let's discuss about the pricing or the licensing. There are two kind of licensing are there for Microsoft Flow. One is licensing by user, and the other one is licensed by Flow. So the user comes with two plans, per user plan and then per user plan with attended RPA. So there in the second plan you will get some additional features on this, like AI builder service credits you will get. But the first one, if you'll see, that will cost USD of 15 per user per month, and with this plan you can actually create unlimited flows, and users are allowed to trigger 4,500 times per month on this plan, and there will be a delay of 3 minutes gap between triggers. And in the second one, you will get all these features what you are getting over there from the per user plan. Only thing apart from that, you will also get automate legacy application. You can actually transfer it through robotic process automation and AI. So in this case, actually you will get AI builder service credits, which is you will get 5,000 per month, and this will cost you $40 per user per month. And in this case, you can trigger 15,000 times per month, and the gap will be actually 1 minute gap between the triggers. And the other one is the licensing by Flow. So in this plan, this is not for individual users. This is for across organizations. So the price for this plan is $500 for 5 flows per month. And in this plan, you can also purchase additional flows for $100 per flow per month. So that means it will be approximately $100 per flow per month. This is how the plan is. And but you have to sign up for 500 at least, means you have to go for at least 5 flows plan. And also I put a link where you can check the detailed pricing on that. And now we will see how we can get started with Flow. So by this time I'm expecting either you will sign up for an Office 365 subscription, or you have a Flow free plan, or at least you have signed up for a Power Apps community plan. So wherever you have a plan, you now actually sign up and then you are ready to create your flow. So how we can access it? Simple. You can go to the browser flow.microsoft.com and you can sign in with your credential, whichever it is. And then the other one is, if you have a Office 365 subscription, you can actually go to the app launcher and you will see Power Automate. So you can access the Power Automate from there. And the third one is, if you are familiar with SharePoint list or SharePoint, then you can go to any list or library and then you can see this create flow button. I'll show you these things. For example, you can go it here, you can see Power Automate is there where you can create a flow. So that's you can do. The other way is, if you have installed the mobile app, you can access it. But before creating flow, let's understand actually what are the templates and the connectors. So why Microsoft Flow is popular? Because of the templates that they provide. You can see the templates and you can actually get this template without modifying anything. You can use for your production. That means you can develop a full-fledged flow by just clicking on a button. So if I'll actually go with flow.microsoft.com, you can actually see here. You can see here there is a template section is there in the left navigation, you can see, and these are the templates that are available. Save Office 365 email attachments to OneDrive for business. I can simply click on this and then the flow will be ready. I'll show you when you will do the examples, but these are the templates that you can see. Not only for SharePoint, you can see here there are other flow or templates are available, so you can check it here and you will see a lot of flows templates are available and we can use it. You can see here, get a daily reminder in email. There's nothing related to SharePoint, so you can just get a reminder in your email every day. And the next thing is there's connectors are there. Now this is quite important. So connectors we can use to communicate with other services from our Microsoft Flow. There are connectors for Twitter, for RSS, for SQL Server, Google Calendar, Google Drive, Yammer, Slack, GitHub. All these connectors are there for these services. And there are nearly 250 connectors are available to work with various services that you can think of. And if you'll see, Microsoft provides two kind of connectors. One is your standard flow connectors, which is available, which we'll get with your flow license. So your flow free license, whatever you are using, you will get that. Like you can see, there is these are the templates which are actually standard flow templates. Now if I'll show you, you can see here these are the connectors. Sorry, I was talking about the connectors. So you can see here the connectors, and there is, you can see here, these are the normal standard connectors, but wherever you will see a premium, these are the premium connectors, and that requires additional license for that. It will not available with your regular flow license. If I'll actually see here, you can actually filter all your standard and premium connectors. If I'll click on standard, I'll be able to see all my standard connectors here. You can see these many connectors are available. You can see by this time you will see these many connectors are available, but Microsoft is adding connectors. So you can see here recently added connectors, and these are the connectors that has been recently added. Similarly, there are premium connectors are available where you can see these are the premium services that you can use: SQL Server, Azure DevOps, you can see Salesforce. There are a lot of premium connectors are there. These many premium connectors are there. All will have, you can see there's a premium button, Oracle database, you can see here. So these connectors you can use easily, and you will be able to get access to these applications, and you can communicate from your flow. So these are the work of communicators, connectors, and then you get to know about the flow premium connectors and the standard connectors. Apart from this, also you can actually create custom flow connectors. So there's a different video that I'll make later where you can create custom connectors. Now, what are the type of flows that you can create? You can actually create, there are multiple type of flows that you can create: automated flows, instant flows, schedule flows, business process flows, and UI flows. So automated flows, as I said, you can create an automated flow that will trigger automatically. For example, let's say you want to trigger an email whenever someone added a file into a document library. Instant flows, these are like button click, you can instantly trigger the flow. Suppose you want to send a notification to your manager by a button click, and which will actually trigger an email. Let's say you are doing work from home, and then you can trigger that by just having a button click. Similarly, there will be schedule flows which will actually trigger automatically on a schedule time. And in these scenarios, you can, let's say for example, you want to copy your documents from a document library to OneDrive for Business on weekly basis or monthly basis. Then in those scenarios, you can create flows. We will see in detail on separate videos. Similarly, business flows. These are like flows that in your organization, everyone will follow the same process. So let's say IT support ticketing system. This is an example of a business process. And then you can see UI flows that you can record clicks and keyboard strokes from your desktop or web applications. So now let us go and create our flow. So I'll show you how exactly you can create your flow. So if you'll just log into flow.microsoft.com, you'll land up with this page where you can see here, this is the country is this one, India. So that's the region you are seeing, India. Based on your region, you will come up with that page. And from here, you have multiple options that you can create flow. For example, you can click on create, and then you can see here, these are the different type of flows that you can create. You can click on this and you can start from blank if you want, or you can select a template from here. You can see here, you can select actually template. The other one is you can go to the templates, and from here you can select the template. So you have multiple options from where you can start. So in this particular case, you can see here, you can go to send a customized email whenever a new SharePoint list item is added. So if I'll select this flow, it is simple to use, and you can see here, if you have not logged in, it will ask you to log in, and you can actually log in. And then because this need access to Office 365 users, Office 365 Outlook and SharePoint, because these are the things basically we will communicate with our SharePoint or with our SharePoint and Outlook users and Office 365 Outlook in this particular example. And then what you will do is you click on continue. So I'll click on continue. Once you click on continue, it will actually populate all the SharePoint sites. So here if you'll see here, and this is the site that I am going to use, and this is going to be the list. If you'll see here, I have SP guides site, and in this site I have employees list. And in this case, if you'll see here, this is a list, and I want to attach the flow to this particular list. So I'll come here and then I will select the list here. You can see here, I select the employees list and click on create. So the moment you click on create, the flow got created. You can see here the flow got created, and you have the option where you can edit it, you can delete it. All these options are there, or even you can turn off. All these options are there. Now the question here is how we can we without modification can we use that? The answer is yes. Without modification you can use this. So I will not do any modification. Now our flow is created, and if you'll go to my flows, you will be able to see this. You can see here, send a customized email when a SharePoint list is created. You can see here, modified 30 seconds ago, and the type is automated. That means the flow is already ready. Now I will go here, I will add one more item here. So I will just add one item here, and I'll put this. I'll click on save. So you can see here, once I click on save, I will receive one email here. So if I'll open my Outlook here, you can see here, if I'll open my Outlook, you can see here a new item has been added. You can see here, and I received this this email. You can see here. So easily you can actually get this email. Now if you want to edit this flow, you can just click on edit, and then you will be able to see this flow actions. So send email, you can see here it is sending out the email here, new item added, and then taking up some properties, and these properties are coming from get my profile, where you have given the given name and mail is there. So you can see, and without modifying anything, I have created a flow and the flow is running. Now next thing what we will discuss is we will so this is how we can create the flow. I have put the step by step everything, so you can have a look at this. Now if you are a SharePoint developer, then couple of questions will come. Okay, before that, these are few examples that I have added. The links over here, Microsoft Flow, copy list item to another list, So this is basically a flow which will copy items from one SharePoint list to another SharePoint list. Similarly, this is a product notification approval workflow where there is a two level of flow is there. So you can have a look at this. This is a good flow where you will have ton of multiple levels of approvals are there. Similarly, there are some other flows. I have given the links. You can have a look at this. And if you want to learn Microsoft Flow, then you can check out the training. I have added the link here, and you can enroll if you are interested for that. Now, next thing is, what are the flow alternative? First of all, I do not feel these are the alternative to Microsoft Flow, because these are actually Microsoft Flow. When we talk about, these are the enterprise level of products, and these are the products. These are the few tools which you can think of an alternative to this. But again, if you will use this, then you are not you have to take separate for Office 365 all these things as an organization. But if you are taking Office 365, then you will get everything here. So why you will go for an individual product for this? And where you know that there are a lot of connectors are available, and you can connect with various services. And next thing is, will Microsoft Flow is a replacement for SharePoint Designer 2013? If you are a developer, then this is the question you might thinking. Shall we go ahead and change Microsoft or SharePoint Designer workflows to Microsoft Flow? The answer is yes, you should go for that, because as you know, there is no new version of SharePoint Designer, and Microsoft is not Microsoft is already 2010 workflow designer. 2010 workflows are already deprecated, and this one also, and then this is supported for some time, I guess. So you should actually start using Microsoft Flow. That's the, and it actually you can think of as an alternative, because you can do a lot of things whatever you can do using SharePoint Designer. It's not a direct replacement for that, but definitely you can do more things whatever you are doing using SharePoint Designer. Next thing is, what is the flow advantages over SharePoint Designer? Okay, so one thing is, as I said before, you don't need developer knowledge for that. Somehow you require a little bit of developer knowledge. You want to develop a custom workflow using SharePoint Designer. Then when you are talking about SharePoint Designer workflows, these are specific to SharePoint. But if you are talking about flow, we are not talking about SharePoint only. We are talking about more than 300 products and services. And you do not require any developer knowledge for connecting to any other services. You just require a little bit of knowledge where you can create a flow and communicate with other services. But in Designer, it will be difficult. Sometimes it is impossible to connect with Twitter, Dropbox, or any kind of third-party products where you want to communicate or you want to trigger some actions. So I hope you learned this lot of things on Flow, and you will get an idea on Microsoft Flow, how you can use it. And you can also check the article that I sent you. And if you like this, kindly subscribe to the channel. You will get a lot of free videos on this kind of things. And you not only on Microsoft Flow or Office 365, you will get on SPFX, Power Apps, Power BI, everything will get SharePoint, all these video tutorials that you will get it. So subscribe to the channel, and thank you and have a nice day.